What is go? What is happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Mutana, and welcome to another great edition of the Rewatchers Council MCU edition. And today it's the whole Megillah. It's the big shebang. It is Avengers Endgame. But I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I got my main person with me, Adelia. Adelia, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'd be better if my camera worked, but the cable failed and the new one's not coming till tomorrow, so that's why there's no camera today. But I absolutely love this movie and I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, you know what? Let's get right into it, Adelia. I haven't been asking this question, but I'm gonna ask for this movie specifically. Adelia, where were you April 26, 2019?
Was that the Thursday or the Friday that it came out?
I have no
Because
idea.
I saw this the Thursday night.
Or 20,
This,
25th, 26th.
yeah, whatever it was. I saw this the Thursday night, opening night. I never go to opening night movies because they're always packed here. But I saw this on opening night.
Oh, 26th
I
was the Friday. The 25th
Okay, so
is
I
the
saw this on
Thursday.
the 25th. I saw this
Yeah.
on the 25th then. I was in the first showing. I the not the first showing. It was later that night, not the first showing because the first showing one of my friends went to and they
Mhm.
texted me just as I was going into the movie theater and told me the ending of the movie. They thought I was going to the first showing. So I get this text from them that says, "Oh my god, can you believe Tony died?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess Tony died."
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Horrible.
It was awful. I was very mad at them for that. But the uh, the movie was an incredible experience, and I went back and watched it several times in the theaters because it was just such a amazing culmination of this 22 movie arc or whatever it was at this point. Um, just phenomenal storytelling in the Infinity Saga, and I thoroughly enjoy this movie.
The highest grossing film of all time after its release for a bit until James Cameron got petty and re-released his Pandora movie.
Hmm.
Shout out to you, my guy. Always live up to always live up to that. Yeah, it broke the record. It's the highest grossing film after release at that moment. Where I was, I don't remember where I was. I don't remember if I watched this on TV or in the theaters. I think it was in the theaters, but I don't think it was like the first showing. I think it was probably like a couple of weeks afterwards or a week after or something. I don't know if I watched it with my homies or it was just me. I don't remember. I just
Yeah.
don't remember. But I do remember like me watching it at home, 8 times after Disney Plus
Hmm.
was released. So I remember that. And I love it. It's a love. I say to myself, people say Infinity War is a better film. That's what they say all the time. They prefer Infinity War, Endgame, blah, blah, blah. But I think Endgame was harder to do. I think the
Yeah.
Russos had a harder job to do that one. And I think they did it very well to a point where like no one in the world really, no one really got mad about how it operated. They did destroy the time travel movie genre in the process, which that kind of hurt my heart. But I'm not mad. I'm not upset. So there's that. So yeah, I love this movie. Iron Man is either my favorite superhero or my second favorite. Him and Spider Man. Ask me one week, I say Spider Man. Ask me another week, I say Iron Man. It's one or the other. Well,
Hmm.
because specifically what Robert Downey Jr. did with Iron Man, I
Right.
loved what he did. I loved what he did, and 2008 Iron Man. If you guys have remember our original Rewatchers Council, I said it's never gonna leave my top five, and it never will. And at the end, where he says "I am Iron Man," snaps and dies, I bawled my eyes out. I can't contain my emotions. That's one. It's amazing, and I love this film, and I love it. I just love it. Period. So Delia, let's get right into this. You said your friend spoiled the movie for you, but I want to ask like on your initial watch,
Hmm.
how did you feel? Your raw emotions, if you remember them. Then I want your emotions on the rewatch.
My emotions on the initial watch were obviously very strong because there's a lot that happens in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
We see Natasha die, which I have strong opinions about. They kill the only female Avenger they have left. Um, I they say this is a recurring thing with these movies that they've done, which is set up Hawkeye to die and then kill someone else instead. In Avengers: Age of Ultron, they kill Quicksilver instead of Hawkeye. Here, they kill Natasha instead of Hawkeye, even though it's been set up with what Clint has been doing for the last 5 years, that he should be the one who dies on Vormir. I have a lot of opinions on them killing Tasha before her solo movie even came out. We can maybe get into those in the Black Widow review that we'll have coming up.
I
But
like that movie actually.
Black Widow's a great movie. Um, they did Natasha dirty, is all I'll say. Um, but there's a lot of strong emotions because Natasha dies. We see the the two sides of Nebula, the one that's still working with Thanos and trying to please her father and all of this stuff, and then the Nebula that's grown away from that and is trying to help reverse what she had for so long helped try to bring into fruition.
Hmm.
Um, there's the Gamora part where we see Gamora, but it's an entirely different Gamora from earlier in the timeline. And her response when she meets Peter Quill made me laugh hysterically. Like she just knees him in the balls twice.
Like, who are you, infidel? Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sets up Guardians 3, which I think is a phenomenal movie as well. Um, but the end with Tony, sacrificing himself. You think back to that line in the original Avengers when Cap tells him, "You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play," and then Tony does. He says, "I am Iron Man again." After Thanos says, "I am inevitable," which I think is great. And then I love that that's not the last we hear of Tony in the movie. We hear his recording that he recorded for his daughter and
Hmm.
her. I think that's great. I don't know how I feel about the scene where he actually dies when it's Rhodey there now, given what we've learned from Secret Invasion, that god awful show, which made Rhodey a scroll. And so Rhodey's basically a scroll there, from what I understand of the timeline. So it's not even his friend sharing that moment with him.
It's a rando alien.
It's a random scroll. Um, the part with Peter, I think, is nice, but I don't know if I would have had Peter in that scene. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And the part with Pepper breaks my heart because she had said to him when he discovered the time travel, "Would you be able to rest?" And then here she says, "You can rest now. We're gonna be okay." So there was a lot of emotions, a lot, and then Cap going back in time to be with Peggy, I thought was really a wonderful thing, but it doesn't make much sense based on their rules of time travel. But we'll get
Yeah.
into that
We'll get
later.
into that. We'll get into that. Yeah. My initial was, oh my god, they pulled it off.
Yeah,
That was like, oh my god, they pulled it off. That was my initial reaction. Because this you're talking, 2019, 2008, 11 years at that point of movies and storytelling and interconnectiveness. Um, so yeah, like so when I watched this movie, I was like, oh my god, they actually did it! Like they pulled it off. I was very happy. And then it's every time I rewatch, like I said, I think I've lost count how many times. It's just like warm soup for the soul.
yeah.
It's just like but I don't let some of the shows ruin these moments. Like to me, in that moment, Rhodey's not a scroll. I won't
Well,
accept it. You know what I mean?
well, the original feeling of that moment that I had is still genuine
Yeah,
because we thought that was Rhodey, but then they just totally undercut it with Secret Invasion, and
yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it now. But the
I don't.
original feeling of that moment is very
Yeah,
genuine.
yeah. I don't want to go because I don't want to go off on like a tangent on like how much I hate Secret Invasion. I don't want to do. I want to
Yeah,
talk about Endgame.
we will
But
do. We
we
cover
will
Secret Invasion
we
on
will
this
cover
podcast.
we will cover Secret Invasion very very soon, and our anger will spew out in the coverage.
I don't know how soon it will be, but it we will
It
cover it.
will
Yeah.
it will before we die. We'll cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
before we die.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Ferris, way to get morbid.
Okay. Well, Tony Park died. Tony Park. Tony Park. Tony
Tony
Stark.
Park.
I don't know who Tony Park is. Tony Stark died, so I'm very sad. But yeah, man, I was on my rewatch. I just watch it. Watch the Scott shootout of the Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Can,
Spider Man
can we,
coming back. What's up, dude?
well, can we talk about the time travel stuff with Scott turning into a teenager, then an old man, then a baby?
Yeah, that was
That was
that
a
was
very
funny.
funny
That was
scene.
funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're like
Very
we you don't understand what happened, and then and then Tony drives up in his car and tells you what happened. You pass time through him, not him through time. It's very
funny.
dangerous, and that's what you guys did. But I figured it out. Here's my watch. You know what? And one more thing too, Adelia, when he rolled up on him, shout out to Audi for the amount of money they spent for the product placement. You know what I mean?
Every car in MCU movies is an Audi. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
Yeah, man. Yo, they roll up on him in his house in the woods. Boom, you see the logo. He drives
Yep.
up, Adelia. He drives up to
The
the
Avengers
compound,
compound.
and like it's literally like a car commercial. Then they pan to him in the car. So shout out to
So
Audi, bro. Shout out to
I
Audi.
have a problem with the scene where he's driving up. He's Cap standing there and Tony's driving up before he gets like really close and hits the brakes. Why is there squealing like the tires would be squealing? He's not going that fast and he's not on the brakes. So that bothers me. But
Yeah, Adelia's a
that's
gearhead, by the way, guys. Adelia's a gearhead. If you didn't know. Um, but yeah, so yeah, man, like, I really love this movie. Still love this movie. I don't really care about all the other stuff. I'm a big fan of this movie. But let's get right into the deal. Let's talk about let's talk about we'll talk about other time travel stuff, or just like the Scott thing, or you want to move on. I want to talk about moments. You know what I
Well,
mean?
we can talk about moments, but I want to talk about the time travel thing too. Like, I love that what gives Tony the inspiration that makes him figure out the time travel is the picture of him with Peter, which they take in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where they're
Mm-hmm.
holding his certificate for Stark internship or whatever it was upside down, and that gives him the inspiration to try the time travel thing as a Mobius strip inverted, and it works. So
Yeah.
it's still like he's trying to get the kid back, and the kid actually inspires him in a way to do it, which I
Mm-hmm.
thought was really nice. I think it when Scott first shows up at the compound with the van with the time with quantum tunnel in it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to explain to Cap and Natasha what he means, and he's just like going pacing back and forth, and then he's like, "Is that anybody's sandwich? I'm really hungry." And just what if we could enter the quantum realm at a certain point in time, but exit at a different point in time, and everything. I thought Scott was really good in this movie. Sometimes I feel like there's too many quips with Ant Man. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, yeah. He's a comedy guy. He's the
mean?
comedy movie. Peyton
He's,
Reed.
yeah, he's a comedy. It's a comedy movie for sure. But I sometimes feel like he doesn't get to be serious enough, and I feel like in this movie he got to be more serious than he usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there are moments where he's being quippy and funny for sure,
Yeah.
but there are other moments where he's like when he's sitting there talking to Tony at Tony's house, and he's like, other than the part where he references the Back to the Future time travel rules, um, he says, I lost somebody very important to me. A lot of people did, and you're telling me you won't even help? And Tony says yes. That's heartbreaking to me. That
Yeah.
Tony is just so set that there's no way to do this safely, and so he's not going to even attempt it. And then
Yeah.
in the end, and then in the end, he sees the picture of Peter, the inverted certificate. It inspires him, and he figures it out. And then even still, he's like, I feel like I should just put this in a box and drop it in the bottom of the lake. And Pepper's the one that says, but would you be able to rest? And he knows that
You
he
won't be able
wouldn't
to.
be able to rest.
Yeah, and she knows him.
Yeah.
She
Pepper
knows
knows
him.
him better than anyone.
Yeah. She knew he was gonna say yes and do this anyway. I think that's the moment where she realized like he may not come back. I think that's why when he passed away, she was like, when he was doing the time travel thing, she was probably at the crib with Morgan, like already like she's accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the man I'm in love with is a superhero and he may die. So I think she's been set with it for years. She thought it was gonna happen. You know, she thought he was dead when he was in space. So when she sees him coming out of there, she's like, "Oh my god!" But like now, she really knows, like, we gotta save people. Because at the end of the day, it's all about saving people. And she knows he's not gonna rest because at the end of the day, it's also you know, it goes back to the homie in the cave, Yinsen.
Yinsen.
Yinsen. It's about saving people.
Yep.
Yinsen lied and said, "Oh, I have family," but then he said, "No, like I'm here to save you. That's why I sacrificed my life." I think Yinsen is still there. You know, so shout out to
Yeah.
Yinsen.
Yinsen tells Tony in that cave, "Don't waste your life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't." And Tony doesn't. He actually, in the end, gives his life so many people can have theirs back.
Exactly. There's a
And
moment.
I there's a deleted scene. I don't know if you ever watched it. I think I sent it to you when we were getting close to doing this review, where we see Tony's Soul Stone moment after, at the end of Infinity War, we see um, Thanos talking to baby Gamora again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a deleted scene. Uh, hey, Shug, welcome.
Hey, hey, hey. Sorry.
Um, it's
No, you're
okay.
good. You're good.
In There's a deleted scene from Endgame where we see Tony's Soul Stone moment to sort of like echo the ending of Infinity War, and it's his daughter as a grown up, and he talks to her, and she tells him, "I got to have a life because of you. So many people got to have a life because of you." And she's appreciative of what he did, even though it hurt and was painful in the moment. She knows her dad didn't just save the world, he saved the universe. And that's incredible. Like, weight
Mm-hmm.
to have as like as young as she is. She's like what, 5, 4 maybe
Think
in
so.
the in
Yeah.
in Endgame. So that's an
Mm-hmm.
incredible weight to have given to you when you're that age. But as she's grown into an adult in the Soulstone thing, she she's settled with it and she's okay, and her and Pepper were okay. And I thought that was a great moment, and I kind of wish they had included it, but I also understand why they didn't, because they had the button where Tony talks to her and basically montages the whole like everybody celebrating because everyone's back thing. But if you haven't seen that deleted scene, it is on YouTube. You can find it. Just Tony Stark's Soulstone scene Endgame, I think will lead you to it. But it's a good scene.
Shug, you're here. I want to get your thoughts on the initial question I asked Adelia. Shug,
Yes.
where were you on April 26th, 2019?
I was with both my kids watching Endgame where we live.
How was it? Now, give me your initial thoughts when you first watched it in the theaters, because you were one of the first few who did, because it was the first 2 days. And then give me your thoughts on the rewatch. Hit me.
So on the initial watch, I loved it. A lot of great moments, obviously. I don't know how many moments you guys have talked about, but there's just been
Just one right now. So you're
okay.
good.
So there's just awesome moments in the movie, and um, I will say that what I loved about it the most. No, sorry, not that what I loved about the most. What what got me was how amazing they paced the movie, and we kind of knew that it was going to be um, we kind of knew it was going to be a time travel movie,
Mm-hmm.
but the way they did it was so clever, and I love the way they did it, and it was great. The jokes, just explaining time travel and how they were like, oh, it says it in this one. This is how they do it in time
It's
travel. This is how
it's
they do
it's it's in Time Cop, Hot Tub
it.
Time Machine, Back to the Future,
Yeah.
Time Bandits.
They're like, what was the other one they said? He goes, what did he say? Hot Tub Time Machine. He said something else, and it was
He
hilarious.
says Die Hard, and then he
Die
Yeah,
goes,
Hard.
Die
"Oh, that's
Hard.
that
Yeah.
one."
Die Hard. Oh wait, that's not one.
So it was hilarious. But I love how the pacing of the movie.
3
How
hours.
it is 3 hours. We do eventually toward the end the big reveal of everything, which was dope. And I just love the movie. Like the movie was so good and it was so unexpected from what we thought we were gonna get. And I know like the rewatch of it, there were some things that I know people didn't agree with, some questions, but the initial watch was great. There are some nitpicky things you can nitpick about, but it's not. Oh my god, this it makes the movie worse. It just there's some little nitpicky things. Um, so
Mhm. So, Show, what about you, man? Adelia said one of her moments. Name a moment that you really enjoyed, or you know what, hated.
the Ronin scene, I loved.
Oh, when he was
The one
in
in
Tokyo.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, you
Um,
know what's crazy, bro? Hiroki Sanada's in the MCU, but they didn't use him. He's a Yakuza boss. He's the guy he kills. He's
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's hilarious.
Akihiko.
Yeah.
I love the that scene. Obviously, Avengers Assemble was amazing.
Yep.
Hmm.
We all get super excited for that one. Um, I loved the. You know what I really loved were the callbacks to other movies of little moments. So Captain America throwing the hammer, Captain America picking up the hammer. Um, the part where Black Panther looks at
Clint.
Clint and Clint because you remember in what movie was it? Or Civil War? He goes, "Oh, I'm Clint, by the way," and he's like, "I don't care." And in this movie, he
Hmm.
calls him Clint. Like those subtle throwbacks is what made uh, the movie really good, and just moments of like things like that. Just I really enjoyed. Um, I think the only thing I didn't care for was the oh my god, I can't even think right now. Boo, 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 boo. Let me come back to me on that one. I can't think of what
Okay.
I was thinking.
But you brought up a scene I really enjoyed was when Thanos is about like is inches away from like killing Thor. He's like right about to stab. Like I think it's like he took Stormbreaker and is shoving it through his chest, and he's like and then he gets punched in the face by the hammer, and then the hammer is flying. You're like, wait, where's it flying to? You think you know where it is, but you don't know
Hmm.
yet. But you're thinking it's like, oh my god, is it? And then
Yeah,
the camera pans to him grabbing the hammer. And then my favorite part of the entire scene is it's not about him grabbing the hammer. Is Thor looking at him saying like, I knew it, I
yeah.
knew it, and then that was pretty awesome.
That
That was
that
pretty good.
was that was a throwback to Ultron, but that was
Ultron,
but
where it
that's
sh-
what yeah,
where
but
it
that's what
shakes.
well, that's where what irritated me was how easy the shield was broken by Thanos. Like it's vibranium. What does he have that
Yeah,
breaks
I want to know what
vibranium?
kind of metal was in Thanos' sword because
Yeah,
it
because
Yeah.
obviously breaks
he's saying
vibranium.
I didn't like that part. That kind of irritated me. I actually love the whole. I know everyone got angry about it, but when all the women joined up, I
I
liked
didn't.
that part.
I was cool
I
with it.
loved it. Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't care.
people were angry. People were saying,
Oh,
"Oh,
I
I
mean,
know. I
people.
know.
Can I speak on that for a moment?
Yes.
It's very pandering to have all the women gather together for the women, especially since we just basically had that same scene. It was just at a smaller scale in Infinity War, where Proxima Midnight attacks Wanda and is like, "You'll die alone, just like he will." And then it's like but she's not alone, and Widow and Okoye are there to help fight. This is it on a bigger scale. I appreciate that they wanted to do this moment of like, look at all the female people we have, but it means less to me because they'd already killed Natasha. I vehemently disagree with them killing Natasha. Um, I know they don't want to kill Clint because he has a family, but like this is the second movie they did where they built up to killing Clint and then didn't kill Clint. So I feel like Natasha's end wasn't what it should have been, I guess. Especially since they end up killing the character off before her solo movie comes out. Like, there's a lot about that I don't like. But the moment of all the women together, it's definitely pandering, but it doesn't bother me that much.
I loved it. Pander to me. Adelia says Clint should have died. You heard it here first on Rewatch's Council.
I
Uh,
didn't want either of them to die, but we knew going to Vormir that one of them was going to die, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be Clint because of the way he's his life for the last several years, and he's not going to want to, face his family like that and everything." And then it's freaking Natasha, and like I do have a problem with the fact that they killed the only female Avenger they have left at that point um, to do this. Like, it just seems to me like we've done the build up to Clint's fake death. Like, this is Justin, when he was on these shows earlier in the series, was always complaining about the fake deaths. To me, this is a build up to a fake death that didn't happen because it's never been a fake death with Clint, but he was supposed to die in Ultron. Quicksilver saves him and dies instead. He is built up so that he would be the one who dies on Vormir here, and instead Natasha is the one that dies. I appreciate that they made it her choice in the end, and that he was very upset about it, and that they all were very upset about it afterwards. But I don't like that they killed her.
Yeah, understandable. Because I personally liked the Black Widow movie. I liked it. I do.
I
I
thought
do.
it was great.
I watched it in an empty theater during the pandemic, so that was a kind of a cool experience because it was just me by myself. But yeah, man, I really liked it. Yeah, and Natasha, what's for me? Those two characters always make me laugh, right? Especially in like Avengers, because I remember because when I was watching the movie earlier today, when they're going back in time traveling, right? And then they time travel back to 2012, which is the Avengers movie. And then there's that famous scene where they're all huddled up and Thor's like screaming and they're doing like that big old pan shot around in a circle. And then everyone is like, you have Iron Man, you have Captain America, you have Thor, and then you have like Natasha loading her gun. And I'm like, what is a Glock gonna do to an alien? Like, what is it like? It just always blew my mind. I'm like, I don't understand one arrow and a Glock. How are an arrow and a Glock beating aliens? And like, it just always blew my mind because it always makes me laugh a little. I was always a big fan of those characters, but it always thought to my mind, I was like, imagine imagine trying to save the universe against like aliens from outer space, and you bring a shotgun. Like, what is that gonna do?
You better be good with that shotgun. I did again. The subtle nods to old movies were great. Where they, when you see Captain America go into the elevator, and he does Hail Hydra.
That was cool.
Because he goes in the elevator. It's the exact same people that he gets in a fight with in Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And he does the Hail Hydra, and you're like, oh, because like it's funny because it's almost like a fourth wall break because he does it, and everybody in the movie theater is like, oh my god, he did that, and then you're like freaking out because that when he gets in the elevator, who's in there, when he confronts himself, and then he tells him Bucky's alive, and how he reacts to that was great. And, going to the base, and he sees Peggy's photo, and the moment
he sees a photo of himself, and then he sees Peggy in her office.
he saw Peggy. He sees the name, I think.
Yeah,
he sees the name, and he sees Peggy in her office.
Yeah. And then you see the subtle moments with Tony, and you see the Jarvis the origin story,
the actual person. Yeah, the actual person. Jarvis,
and so it was.
Hey, by the way, same actor in the Agent Carter TV series. Same actor.
Okay.
Yeah, Jarvis. Yeah.
Jarvis. Yeah.
But I want to point out, guys. When he goes into that office, the first thing he notices though?
What?
A photo of himself, because he's an egomaniac.
No. Ferris, no.
He's an egomaniac.
He goes into a random office at S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 1970s. It's 25 years after he supposedly died, and there's a photo of him on someone's desk, and he's like, what? and then he turns and sees it's Margaret Carter's office, Peggy's office, and then he turns around again and he sees Peggy. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
First thing he noticed was a photo of himself. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
The nitpicky stuff, I like, people obviously they start it starts off with well, let me ask you guys, and I'm sorry, Ferris, I'm not trying to hijack your thing. What did
Now
you
we're
guys
having
think of
conversation.
you guys think of Fat Thor?
I love it because to me it shows the effects of depression.
Hmm.
Like um, people have laughed about fat, drunk Lebowski Thor, but it was so relatable to me. Not the drinking part, but like he's the one who could have stopped all of this from happening if he'd
If
just
he,
gone for the head in Infinity War. And the weight of not having done that is just crushing him. He'd lost everything by that point, and then he could have brought back so many other people or stopped them from going away, and now he has to live with that weight too.
Yeah.
Like the only thing at that point he can do to try to alleviate the guilt and the loss that he feels is to drink and yell at people through Fortnite like Korg is playing and all of this stuff.
threatening
And
Kind of
children.
kind
yeah,
of kind of relating to Thor right now. I
Mhm.
know, like moments. What I agree with you, and what I loved is the redemption part. There's parts in here that obviously made us cry, but that made us cry happy is when he sees his mom, and his
yes.
mom, talks to him and tells him,
And she knows that it's not that
it's not him, but
you
she
know,
knows it's him, but it's
yeah,
not him of that
him,
time.
yeah,
She makes a joke. You need to eat a salad, and then he reaches his hand out and he gets the hammer, and that reaffirms him that you are still worthy. You made a mistake, but you're still worthy. You're still a hero. Now
Yeah.
do what you
It,
need to
it's
do.
it's such a metaphor for like your self-worth. And
yeah,
I thought that moment where he can still call for Mjolnir and grab it was done perfectly. And then when he volunteers himself to be the one to snap his fingers towards the end, um, even though it might kill him, it's just to prove that he's useful again. That he, is he's worthy, but he needs to be useful now.
yeah,
And that's also so relatable because when you think you failed people, and you're really depressed, you oftentimes will want, me at least, will want to try to prove to them that you're still useful.
mm,
And I I think that his depiction is so great, but everybody focuses on just like, oh man, they made Thor fat and everything, and Lebowski. Everybody calls him Lebowski Thor, and because of Tony calling him Lebowski in the movie, but
yeah,
like he feels that everything's his fault, and he has to fix it because the only way things are going to be right is if he's the one that makes up for his mistake. And I think that by the end, he's starting to realize he made a mistake, but it's fixed now. It might not have been him that fixed it, but he was part of what fixed it. And so that leads into Love and Thunder, which I still haven't seen, but um, he's back to by that point to more of the Thor that we know.
yeah. Also, I'm well said it. Dear. I can't add anything else to that because, but all I want to add this is they chose the god, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else is human mostly, but he's the one who got hit the hardest. And they
Mm-hmm.
said no matter what you are, who you are, what status you are, depression will hit and it will hit hard if you get like what happened to him. Like he's the god of thunder, and now he's the god of drinking beer in a dark room with his Fortnite homies. You know what I mean? So that showed you that this is a disease that will hit anyone, anywhere, anytime. You are not
Yeah.
immune to it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then on the opposite side, you had Tony who actually gained. He lost too, but he gained something valuable.
Hmm.
And he tells that's why he tells Cap in the movie, you know, get what we lost, yes. Keep what I have.
That's the
That's the most important thing to me.
exactly
Yeah.
And it hit him different, and he still had the effects because you see when he sees Peter's
photo.
photo, he's like, he tells Pepper, he goes, I figured out what we need to do.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Should I throw it in the ocean, the lake, and never think about it again,
Yeah.
or do I do something? She tells him, you've never been able to do that you're always going to do the right thing. And I think that's what makes Iron Man and his arc from the first movie to not to Endgame so incredible, because he went from an egotistic maniac to a guy that sacrificed himself. And like you said, Adelia, in the extra scene, um, he talks to his older daughter and gets that encouragement that, hey, I had a life because of you. He makes that sacrifice, and he
Yeah.
he didn't have to do that. He could have tried to do something else, but he knew he had to do it. Um, so obviously, I love that, and I love all the character development there is.
Mhm.
Um, you get some good moments. I wish they would have done a little bit more with some characters. I know this is I know that when I say this is going to be a hot take. I wish they would have done more with Captain Marvel. I think it would have been made the movie a little bit better. But I understand that people just, after the first Captain Marvel movie and all the hate that it got, they had her in there sparingly. And I think they could have done a little bit more with her, but it's understandable.
I
Um,
am I'm gonna counter that a little bit because I'm
okay.
actually glad that they didn't have her in there because she's just so powerful
Yeah.
that like she could have done a lot of this on her own and it would have not had the character development of the trying to figure everything out that we had from everyone else. And I'm glad that she's there for the parts that she is. And I
Hmm.
love Carol. I love Brie Larson's portrayal of Carol. I love both the Captain Marvel movies. But I'm
Me
glad,
too.
and I believe actually that they filmed Endgame, her stuff for Endgame, before they
First.
filmed the Captain
Yeah, they did.
Marvel movie.
A
So
lot of yeah, yeah.
this was always the plan to have her just in this little of Endgame and have it be
Um,
focused on basically the original team of Avengers and like Nebula and Rocket and Rhodey.
Yeah, because also too, the Black Panther parts in Infinity War and Endgame, those were filmed before Black Panther. So like the timelines were like the filming parts were kind of they kind of filmed the big ones first, and then they gave everyone free reign to do their solo films afterwards. So yeah, that's why some of like the Black Panther stuff was filmed before Black Panther.
is that
So
why
they,
the suit in Endgame is not the same suit in Black Panther? Because remember, he gets a new suit
Probably.
that's like not is it not is it nanotech, but it's close to nanotech, like what
yeah, it's like
Tony has.
yeah, like vibranium nanotech stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think it's the same. I think it's the same suit. I
if you
think
look,
because
go back and look at it, it looks like the first suit that he had that he shows up in.
or like the
And
original one in Civil War.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
I didn't notice, man.
I I I,
My
I
eyes can't.
noticed it.
Yeah.
I kind of noticed it, but I think that I think that I kind of agree with you, Adila, but I just wish I liked the Captain Marvel. I wish they would have done a little bit more, but if it was planned like that, then there's nothing you could say about it. I'm okay with
Mhm.
it. I just wish I
Yeah.
felt like I wish I would have saw her. Like she is powerful, but I think they could have had some cool stuff with her and Thanos.
Mhm.
Kind of getting payback for Hulk. We never got that resolution. That kind of irritated me.
Yeah, when he beat up Hulk, basically scared him into hibernation.
Like Hulk should have got his get back on him.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. I will say the end battle there is very little Hulk stuff that you see, and I think that sucks because
yeah,
he's such a big part of the Avengers to me. They turned him into Smart Hulk so he could be the one to snap his fingers and all the gamma radiation and everything. But
Hmm.
then like they've also immediately like reversed that because at the end of Shang-Chi in that post-credit scene, he's just Bruce Banner again. And in Spider-Man Brand New Day coming up, he's supposedly just Bruce Banner again at first. And like I don't understand why they made him Smart Hulk and then took that away.
I
well,
have a
She Hulk.
theory.
Also,
In She Hulk, he was Smart
Smart
Hulk,
in
Hulk.
She-Hulk, he was still Smart
but
Hulk.
he could go back and forth. So, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a theory, and it has nothing to do with like the creativeness. It has to do with contracts and how like they don't really own him. Universal still owns him.
Oh, because Universal still owns
Yeah,
him. That
because
could be.
yeah, it's a theory. I don't know if it's right. Because I know that they're free to use him in team up movies, not solos. So
Yeah.
they could have used more of him in this movie because it's a team up movie and he's allowed to be in this movie. But also too, like maybe Universal's like, hey man, relax, big dog. But also too, Marvel could be like, we don't own him, so we don't really let's not include him too much
Mm-hmm.
because we don't own him. We can't really use him forward. So let's kind of sideline him a little, right? Because like before they bought, people. That's what people were scared about with Spider Man, right? It was like, oh my god, Spider Man. They're still scared about that. Like, how are they gonna? Like in the movies, right? In the team up movies with Spider Man, he shows up a little bit, but like he's not like all up in the video. You know what I mean? Like like he's not all up in the video because they know we don't own him outright. We'll use him sparingly, but also too, Spider-Man is probably like the second biggest comic book hero, or depending on you ask, the first biggest comic book hero in all of comic books. So like yeah, so it's not creative reasons. I think that's my little rant about
It could be.
studio politics.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
let's get man, let's keep talking. I think we're 41 minutes in, man. Let's talk about some of the characters, some of the consequences. My favorite part is you know what part I really enjoyed is like we talked about Carol Danvers, right? And how she was powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch was about to snap Thanos in half.
Yes.
Right.
She was about to snap that man in half. Like, and then we find because she's stricken with grief, and we find out more in WandaVision. Great show. And he has to basically kill his own army to stop her. Because he
Mm-hmm.
knows
Yeah.
because she's probably the second or most powerful character in this universe, bar none. So that was pretty cool seeing her again and her get back. Speaking of someone's get back, you know what I mean? She definitely has the biggest get back where she literally saw her man die in front of her. Like
Yeah.
he rips dude's skull out of his body, and that's traumatizing. Even
Mm-hmm.
though he's an android robot humanoid thing, it's love of her life. So that was pretty cool. What did you guys think about characters and the consequences? Certain characters showing up because I know Adelia, you love Scarlet Witch. What was your opinion of her showing back up?
I loved this scene. I loved how it set up how powerful she actually is because we've seen Wanda do some pretty cool things in the movies heading up to this point, but we'd never seen her do something quite like this, like saying like, "Oh, she could kill Thanos." And like we got a taste of it in Infinity War when she's like holding off him with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones while she's
Mhm.
trying to destroy the other Infinity Stone that's in Vision's head. So we got to see a little taste of it, but get to see her like actually fight Thanos was really cool. I like the way she was like, "You took everything from me," and he was like, "I don't even
I don't
know who
even know
you
who you
are,"
are.
and she was like, "You will." I loved that line. I loved it. Does really set up WandaVision in a way because you can tell like she's like incredibly depressed about the whole losing Vision thing because you have to remember for her that literally just happened. Like it's 5 years later, but for her, she literally just lost Vision.
Yeah,
Like
because she
I don't
snapped
know,
and she's
half an
back.
hour before
Yes.
whatever it would be. So so I really liked that scene with Wanda, and I do like that he had to be like, okay, rain fire, like get
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 her off of
this
me.
off of me. Yeah. So yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Sure. What about you? A character that was brought back that had a moment that you really enjoyed, that you really liked?
I mean, for me, it's got to be Spider Man and when Tony dies. I mean, that whole scene, prior to that, when he comes back and Tony hugs him, and we know from the original, the first Spider-Man movie, you know, Tom Holland tries, Spider Man tries to hug him,
It's like, don't
and
touch me.
he's like, yeah, he's like, because I'm trying to open the door for you,
Yeah.
and so Tony hugs him, and then Tony makes
That's
that
oh
sacrifice.
Shug. Yo, that's a great callback, dude. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of callbacks. There's a lot of callbacks that if you don't pay attention, you're gonna miss them. But when he comes back, Tony hugs him, and he's like, "Oh, this is nice,"
Oh, this is nice.
and then when Tony snaps and you see Peter there, and I think that was one of the big. I think a lot of people criticized, that kind of Tony was like the Ben Parker
Yeah,
character.
Uncle Ben. He was Uncle Ben. Yeah.
He was Uncle Ben. Um, I was okay with it. I think people took it too. I mean, you can't adapt. the comic books like page by page. So I was okay. I was okay with it.
Also, too,
And
again, Sony and Marvel were sharing him, so you know,
yeah, but you gotta let
creatively,
Sony should stop because we that's why we got what is it
Morbius
freaking
and Craven the
Morbius
Hunter.
and Craven
Uh,
and like just stop Sony, let Marvel
yeah,
have
because
stuff
with
now.
Spider Man movies, Marvel has
Success.
well, no, they also have like a creative input.
Yeah,
They don't really get creative input on the other Spider-Man people, but with Spider-Man, they're asked like John Watts was found by Marvel for those movies, and
yeah.
he made them for Sony technically. Like
But
the new
it's Marvel
yeah,
handprints all over it.
exactly. It handprints all of it, but Sony puts their name.
Yeah,
Sony's handprints are on the other movies, Madam Web,
and this is
Morbius,
why.
Craven the
Yeah.
Hunter. Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
But buying Spider Man's catalog is gonna cost them as much money as buying the full Fox thing because Spider
Well,
Man.
they're not going to get Spider Man back from Sony.
Yeah,
They're just not.
it's not
So
happening.
this is the best
Scenario.
situation that Spider Man could have. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do all your other Spider Man esque movies, and we won't touch those. But Spider Man, we're gonna have input. You hear
Yeah.
me? So yeah.
I'll tell you a character that I didn't like, and this might shock you. I didn't like Gamora. I didn't like what they did with
Uh,
Gamora
oh, that she came
because
back. She wasn't the actual Gamora that we found.
she wasn't in love with Quill, and we know we go when we review Guardians of the Galaxy 3. She's just a different character, and I thought, okay, I get why they did it and everything like that. I just didn't like it because now Quill's just by himself.
Well, no, also too, Shook, but here's the thing too, right? In Guardians 1, she didn't like him.
Yeah,
She
but she
became
learned.
no,
Yeah,
but
she
yeah, no, but she learned in Guardians 2. They then started to get more together. And then after Guardians
Wait,
2, when they showed up in Infinity War, they were together. You're talking about this is
and,
years. What's up,
and
dude?
you have to remember that the Gamora that is in Endgame is Gamora before she met Quill ever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Morag.
she
She was
doesn't know
yeah,
him at all. And like
yeah.
I agree that like Gamora and Quill is one of my favorite love stories in the MCU, and I wish they hadn't killed Gamora, that version of Gamora
Infinity War.
in Infinity War. But I think that what they did with the Gamora that we had after Endgame in Guardians 3 left that to a satisfying enough conclusion for me that it doesn't bother me that much that it's not the Gamora that we had for all those Guardians movies.
Also, too, after in Endgame, she's pissed off. So
Yeah.
she was robbed of this love story. People are telling her that's the guy you love, that's the love of your life, and she's sitting there like she's angry because she wasn't allowed to go through the proper organic steps of love, right? She wasn't, and she's pissed as well. She's pissed off. So she's always hated Thanos. She was planning to betray him anyway. She shows up. She sees what happened to her sister Nebula. Her sister Nebula evolved into someone she would love to call a sister. That she was always thought like, hopefully, if you were like this previously, we could have been sisters. But you were a stone cold a hole. You know what I mean? So she sees her sister evolve to this tremendous character. She doesn't get her organic. She is robbed of her organic love story. She's just an angry person, justifiably. She's upset. She's upset, and she's like, "You're the love of my life, but I don't love you yet." So she's just angry, and I feel sorry for her. She's one of the characters I generally feel sorry for. I generally feel sorry for her. Well, this character version. That's my opinion on it. But I agree with you, Sugar. Well, I don't agree with you, but I can see where you coming from.
I figured you were going to be happy about it because you were talking all that crap about Star Lord in Infinity War.
Yeah, man, I hate that guy, man. He's an idiot, man.
I
Moron,
mean,
bro.
they even say in this movie, so he's an idiot.
Yeah,
When he's doing the lip syncing with the little rodent animal, whatever the hell it is,
yeah,
on
definitely.
Morag,
Yeah,
and Nebulin is like, so he's an idiot, and she's just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. You know.
But I'm really interested to see what they do with Star Lord after Guardians 3, because the end of Guardians 3 does he's at his grandfather's house in Missouri. He's come home, and he says that says at the end Star Lord will return. So I'm curious what they do with him.
Yeah, and also too, shout out to Rocket, one of my favorite characters. Period.
Rocket's the best.
I love him. I love the guy.
I really liked him in this movie, but I think his full potential in Guardians 3 is what
Oh,
makes
off the
him.
hook.
I think if you didn't see Guardians 3, you're like, I like Rocket, but he's like a secondary character. And after Guardians 3, you're like, no, that's the dude. Like that's the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's a
You know what? If Bradley Cooper wanted an Oscar, he should have got an Oscar for that.
yeah.
Shout
No,
out to him.
definitely.
Shout out to him. But I guess any other thoughts,
Yeah.
moments you want to talk
I
about?
wanted to make this point about like the themes of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a film that is basically about the aftermath of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
And they
pretty much.
really took the time to put real character moments into it. And I find each one of them more beautiful the more I see it. There's so much to take in with this film, and it's not all about time travel and the final battle, because the main theme of this film to me is about overcoming failure, dealing with
Mhm.
guilt and loss, finding a
Absolutely.
purpose again, and achieving peace. Because I think, in a way, by the end of this movie, all of the original Avengers have achieved peace. Clint gets his family back. Natasha's wiped the red out of her ledger. Um, Hulk, Hulk maybe we don't really know with Hulk, so maybe not Hulk. Cap has his life with Peggy. Thor's going on a journey to find out who he is, and Tony has done the one thing that saved the universe. And I just think it's a beautiful film for that regard, because it's so much more than just a comic book movie. They really, really took the time to explain and show like actual growth and loss and all kinds of stuff from these characters, and it's not just something that's explained away with a quip or anything. I mean, like, and also another moment that I really always pick up on when I watch it is at the end when Cap's about to go put the stones back, and you get the different goodbyes to Sam and to Bucky. To Sam, he says, "I'll see you in a few seconds." To Bucky, it's, "I'm really going to miss you." And I knew in that moment, the first time I watched this, the Cap, as we knew him, wasn't going to come back. Now, seeing old man Cap sitting on that bench with the wedding ring with Peggy and everything, you just know it's Peggy. But seeing him, there is great. It makes no goddamn sense based on the rules of time travel, but it's great. And he has a shield. Where did the shield come from? I have so many questions about that moment. But
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot of
secondary.
inconsistencies. There's a lot of inconsistencies that you after you rewatch it again, you're like, wait a minute, how did that happen? I think my biggest one, which is the most dumbest one, is how did Rhodey get a new suit when they
That
were
one, yes,
underground?
absolutely that one. I would like to know how, if Nebula had one Pym particle to get back, Nebula was able to come back and also send Thanos' ship through the quantum tunnel. I would like to know that too. Because you
Okay.
remember they only had one Pym particle, enough Pym particles
Each.
for round trip
Yeah.
each. So Nebula had one Pym particle to get back, and then somehow another Pym particle was manufactured on Thanos' ship to send Thanos' ship through? No way.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah,
I would have loved that. I would love to see the conversation between Cap and Red Skull when he took back that stone.
that would have been
That would have been
amazing.
like
Like, how
some
do
kind
you
of little
return the soul
delecy.
stone and say, like, okay, I've used it for my purpose. I'd like the soul I exchanged for it back. Like, how do you what is the the thing there? Like, I would have loved to see Cap talk to. I know that it would make the movie way longer, but I would have loved to see Cap returning the soul stone returning the stones to everyone. Like, does he inject it back into Jane Foster, like the reality
Yo,
stone?
yo,
Like, what do they do with that? Like, so much
What
of
if
it
we get
seems
what if
like
we get
total
that
things
in
that doesn't make
Doomsday?
sense.
What if we get that in
I
Doomsday?
don't know that we're getting that in Doomsday, but
yeah. I don't think we're.
That'd be crazy to be like, Captain Rogers. Haven't seen you in years. Hugo Weaving? What are you doing here?
That's not
I,
Hugo Weaving.
I know I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Well, it
Yeah, I
is. Red Skull is Hugo
No,
Weaving, right?
yeah, but
no
not
that
in Infinity War and Endgame. It's Ross Marquand, I believe.
yeah,
Who?
it's the guy. It's the guy from Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a voice actor. He's really good though.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah, because Hugo famously said, "I hated the prosthetic. I'll never go
Yeah,
back." Yeah, he
Yep.
famously said that.
he was such a good Red Skull though. I loved
Oh,
him.
well, he was awesome. I loved him.
But I
Yeah,
thought
he was
Ross
great.
Marquand matched like Hugo's voice and his cadence and everything
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
for sure.
So
He
Oh
you
yeah,
matched it.
couldn't
absolutely.
know that that wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, he surely did.
Absolutely.
But I just something about Hugo Weaving when he was delivering the lines in the original Captain America, were just I
He's
don't know. I love
always menacing, bro. Like that's why I don't trust the elves in Lord of the Rings because he's the lead elf. Because I'm like, I don't trust you, dog. You ain't trustworthy. You've never been trustworthy ever in my entire life. I've never seen a movie where I see your face and you're a good guy.
Hey, Edge Smith. Hello,
He's not
Mr.
a
Anderson.
exactly Mr. Anderson. He's never a good person in any movie. So anytime he shows up, it's like I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
That would be a good rewatchers council. The Matrix movies. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, I for me, I think a lot of inconsistencies were when you rewatch it because now you're not watching it with the fan goggles on. You're watching it
Mhm,
as a regular movie. Um, but I do like Gadea says the theme of the movie I really enjoyed. I do love the fan service, so I was okay
Yeah.
with it. I don't care. Like it's the last movie of the entry, or it's the second to last movie because Spider Man was the last one.
yep.
So I was cool with the fan service. We got some cool moments. You saw Pepper and
Mhm,
in her suit. You got the whole Captain America with the hammer.
mhm,
Um, you got moments. It call back to when Ant Man is telling Wasp, and Cap, and she's like, "Why you call he's Captain America? What? He's not your friend." And then when she comes back, she calls him Cap, and he looks at her like it's cool little jokes like that. I really
mhm.
enjoyed. So I really enjoyed this movie. I think I think they haven't hit the mark yet with any other movies since this movie, but I think that Doomsday might be um,
Well,
kind of the
I
next
don't think
one.
no other movie's ever gonna hit the level of this movie, right? Because
I think so. I think Doomsday and Secret War
well, no,
can.
well, yeah, of course, because they're the end, right? 11 years,
Yeah.
right? This is a movie that was 11 years in the making. Like every year, tension builded. Every year, tension build. It was building. It was building. Every after every MCU film, we were building. Oh, when are we gonna get it? And then it finally came. And funny enough, too, they pushed it forward actually because the original date was June, and I think they pushed it up to April just to mess with people because they're like, ah, as like as a ploy. So it was building. So if Doomsday, but the problem is with Doomsday is I'm excited for it. I really am. But 11 years, like Doomsday isn't 11 years in the making. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
technically, it is
well, if you're gonna connect it to the other one, it's actually
15
18,
years or so.
18 years in the making.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So yeah, I get
But
it. I get it.
I think this is Doomsday is going to be. I don't think it'll really reach Infinity War um, level, but I think it can reach Endgame level because a lot of
Mhm.
people like Infinity War more than they like Endgame. But I think Secret Wars is going to match with Infinity War and Endgame. I think that
Yeah.
it will because I think we can all agree that it's like Infinity War, Endgame are the two, you
Hmm.
know. And I think Doomsday will match Endgame, but I don't know if it'll get to Infinity War level. Um,
I can't wait. We'll find out. But guys, we're almost an hour in. Let's get verdicts on the movie. 5 star out of five. Which one? Where are we going? Chug,
I'm going 4.7.
you're a monster. Um, Adelia.
I'm going five. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I really appreciated the themes and everything. I thought that doing the 5 year time jump was bold because it made them all sit in their failure for 5 years, even though we didn't see much of that. And then when we see them again after the 5 years, they're all like stuck, basically,
Mhm.
in in different ways with the weight of that failure. I thought that was fascinating. Um, I just it's not my favorite Marvel movie, but it's up there for sure.
Yeah,
Real quick first before you say anything, give you ready. I did love that speech from Thanos. He goes, "You could not live with your own failures, and
that's
where
he's
did it
great.
bring you?
Back to
Back to
me.
me." I love that. That's
Yeah,
so
that
menacing.
yo, Josh, dude, hey man, I don't know why Josh Brolin never got like, like this man, Oscars, man, they be hating, bro. They hating, cause Josh Brolin, man, it was hey acting, bro. It's Josh Brolin, hey acting.
They're never gonna give an Oscar to a motion capture voice only performance. They're just not.
I'm so sorry, Andy Serkis. You should have won that. You should have won that Oscar for playing that ape. You know what I mean? Because I cared about that ape. That ape is my dog. Shout out to you, Caesar. But yeah, I'm going 5 out of 5 because I believe this was the harder movie to make than Infinity War. Because this
Yeah.
movie had to wrap up everything in a very in a way that everyone was satisfied. A nice big red bow tie. Yes, there were inconsistencies, but it was a nice big red bow tie. Everyone moved on. It was tremendous. So shout out to the Russos. Probably one of the hardest films to do because of the 11 years, and actually not even just the 11 years, the 50 years of comics as well, or like
Hmm.
70, 75 years of comics as well. So you have that on top of that. So, basically said, good luck. We'll see if you fail or not. And they didn't really do it. Failed. So shout out to the Russos. Shout out to Anthony and Joe. One of them showed up in that grief group. But like Adelia said, they got to set in their failure. Cap doing this grief group every week, telling people to move on, but he don't want to move on. You know what I mean? So that was a great point, Adelia, as well. So yeah, man, 5 out of 5 for me. All right. Anything else, guys? No? Adelia? Yeah, no, I guess not.
She's lost for words.
Okay, at a loss for us, but so all right, let's head on out. Shug, where can people find you?
They can find me here doing other trailer reactions. We do have Invincible coming out, so I'll be doing watch alongs or recaps of that. And then you can find us on our brother channel, Good Friends, Better Rivals, where I do a Steel Conspiracy. We also just did our 90 feet.
90 feet.
Yeah, 90 feet, our baseball show today. So check that out. And then also, too, uh, where I might pop up on just different shows throughout both channels. So come hang out. Really appreciate everybody that's hanging out, watching the stream or rewatching it.
Adelia, where can people find you?
You can find me on this channel on That Was the Schmodown. The new name for Nostalgia Crackdown. We'll be back with a new episode in April talking about the movie trivia Schmodown with our ultimate movie trivia Schmodown draft. Both of the gentlemen on the screen with me right now are going to be drafting in that, possibly. So do come check that out. That'll be in April. More information will be on our socials, which you can follow at LGRN Post Credits on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Facebook, or at postcredits.lgrn.online on Blue Sky. Yeah, it's always good to be on this channel. Usually more on the sports channel, the Good Friends Better Rivals channel, doing starting 11 with Snark Tuesdays 5 p.m. Pacific, and I might pop up on the post whistle episode this weekend talking about the hockey NHL trade deadline. So check that out on Saturday.
Yep.
Links to the channel um, is on the homepage of this channel. So there's a link to that. There's also links to our clips channels, which we're going to get more stuff up on in the coming weeks. So check them out.
Yep, guys. My name is Ferris Milano. You can find me on the here every Thursday and Fridays, 3 o'clock Pacific. On the Rewatchers Council, the originals. Angel on Friday, Buffy on Thursday, as well as Rewatchers Council on Thursdays. But tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Pacific, me and Caleb will be talking NFL draft combine reactions, as well as Cowboys are making moves finally. on the eponymous show of our brother channel, Good Friends Better Rivals, on Good Friends Better Rivals. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a wonderful time with this conversation. I'm gonna go eat. So peace out, much love, and we'll see you guys next time.